Negotiations between Iran and the United States in Geneva today did not result in a nuclear agreement, but both sides agreed on fundamental principles for a potential nuclear deal. This statement was made by Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. And then, he also stated that it is not worth expecting the negotiations to end soon or for a deal to be reached. And against this backdrop, Donald Trump declares that Iran does not want to face a major war that the United States could bring upon Tehran. And at the same time, both sides began to demonstrate military power and preparations for war. This indicates that neither Washington nor Tehran really believes in diplomacy. The United States sent a second aircraft carrier to the shores of Iran and is also massively transferring planes, tankers, and fighters. In addition, the United States continues to supply air defense and missile defense systems to the region. In recent weeks, dozens of American military transport planes have delivered equipment from the United States to Jordan, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia. In response, today, Iran closed part of the Hormuz Strait due to naval exercises by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, amid the United States increasing its own military presence in the region. And it's important to understand that the Hormuz Strait, which the IRGC blocked today, is located between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. And it is the only route for transporting crude oil from the oil-rich Persian Gulf to the rest of the world. The northern part of this strait is controlled by Iran, so we can say that both sides have moved from classic diplomacy to open pressure. The Americans are amassing as many troops as possible, and the Iranians are showing that they can block the transportation of oil in this very important oil artery. My name is Pechiy. Let's discuss this topic together, but before we start, I ask you to subscribe to this channel, like the video, leave any comment under this episode, and be sure to subscribe to my Telegram channel, Pechiy News. The link to it is in the description of this video. There we publish breaking news as it comes in. So, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi stated today that the United States and Iran have agreed on fundamental principles for a potential nuclear deal. After 3 hours of negotiations in Geneva with President Trump's envoys Jared Kushner and Stephen Witkoff, Araghchi gave an optimistic report on the progress of the talks. The Americans, by the way, decided not to comment much on these talks. Araghchi stated that the talks were serious, constructive, and positive, and claimed that significant progress had been made compared to the previous meeting. And now the parties have a clearer plan of action. Next is his quote, "Various ideas were presented and seriously discussed. Ultimately, we managed to reach a common understanding on a number of guiding principles, based on which we will move forward and begin working on the text of a potential agreement. This does not mean that we will be able to reach an agreement quickly, but at least the path has begun." I'll just jump ahead a bit, digress, and say that this path has begun. Iran has already done this several times. Even during Joe Biden's 4 years as president, America tried to revive the nuclear deal with Iran, and for all 4 years, Iran led Washington by the nose. Now it seems to me exactly the same story is repeating itself, but with one difference. The Americans have already shown that, if necessary, they can strike painfully. And on this matter, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Oman, Badr al-Busaidi, who acted as a mediator in the negotiations, stated that the second round of talks ended with significant progress in defining common goals and relevant technical issues. As a result, the parties agreed to work on drafts of a potential agreement, exchange texts, and then set a date for the third round of negotiations. At the same time, Donald Trump stated that the Iranians want a deal, not a war. The Iranians are tough negotiators. I hope they will be more reasonable. They want to make a deal. I don't think they want to face the consequences of refusing a deal, said Trump. But, it doesn't really seem like either side truly believes in diplomacy. The United States armed forces continue a significant buildup of air and naval forces in the Middle East. United States Air Force units, including tanker aircraft and fighter jets, are being redeployed closer to the Middle East. The United States is also continuing to supply the region with air defense and missile defense systems. And several American military units stationed in the Middle East region are scheduled for rotation in the coming week. Their contracts were simply extended and they were told to remain in place for now. According to flight tracking data, in recent weeks, dozens of American military transport planes have delivered equipment from the United States to Jordan, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia. In recent weeks, more than 250 Thunder flights from the United States to this region have been tracked. And such an increase in combat readiness gives the American military broad opportunities to carry out strikes if Trump gives the order to attack. Well, for example, guided missile destroyers accompanying aircraft carriers can carry dozens of Tomahawk cruise missiles. United States Navy carrier strike groups usually operate together with attack submarines, which can also launch Tomahawk missiles. F-35 and F-15E fighter jets can carry a large number of guided bombs and air-to-ground missiles. In short, the arsenal is truly formidable. Among the potential targets for strikes are the headquarters of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and other military facilities. In addition to Iranian nuclear facilities, the possibility of joint operations between the United States and Israel is also being discussed. And now, Donald Trump has already stated that he will support Israel's airstrike operation against Iran's missile program. All these operations may resemble Operation Midnight Hammer, which was carried out last summer when the United States struck Iranian nuclear facilities at the end of a 12-day campaign. But here, Iran also decided not to stay silent and to show its teeth. According to Iranian media reports, today Iran closed part of the Hormuz Strait, citing security concerns due to naval exercises conducted by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The official news agency of the Islamic Republic reported that the exercises, which are being held amid the United States increasing its own military presence in the region, simulated real maritime threats. And although the closure of the strait lasted for just a few hours, it should be understood that this is a warning that Iran can block a crucial logistical artery, and this will hit the entire West. Let me explain why. The Hormuz Strait is located between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman and is the only route for transporting crude oil from the oil-rich Persian Gulf to the rest of the world. Its northern part is controlled by Iran, and today Iran has shown that it can block it under any pretext. But this was a demonstrative action, like, what if you are preparing military force against us and we can block this strait? According to the United States Energy Information Administration, about 20 million barrels of oil pass through this strait every day, which is about 1/5 of the world's daily oil production. And this channel is called a critically important oil choke point. Let me remind you, Iranian authorities have previously threatened to close the strait due to tensions with the West, which would lead to massive disruptions in global shipping. And today, in essence, there was a rehearsal of such a closure, so the level of tension is only increasing, not decreasing, even against the backdrop of negotiations. I'll leave it at that. Share your opinions and conclusions in the comments below this episode. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and don't forget to like if you found this episode useful and interesting. You can support our YouTube channel financially with any donation or paid sponsorship. For example, sponsorship on YouTube, Patreon, Buy Me Coffee, PayPal, or crypto wallets. All these details are in the description of this video. I will be grateful for any support. That's all for now. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everyone.